Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Tools Gurus. It's so nice to see you again. We've been having a tremendous time, and we thank you all for watching. I mean, the amount of hours watched is absolutely enormous. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We are here again, and today we should like to talk about self-care, which is so important. And something which is very important too, which is discipline. So I think that some of us care a lot of talking about those two incredible themes which go together actually. Okay. So Jimmy, would you like to go first?
Yes, ma'am. So, welcome everyone. And as I uh, listen to our administrator tell us how our page is growing and the amount of views that our videos are getting, we need to be worthy the time that people are spending watching our content. So every week we try to introduce ideas and information and wisdom that all people can use to better enhance their experience on this planet. And today we're going to talk about self-care and discipline, and they both go hand in hand. Uh, Discipline is one of the uh, mechanisms necessary to conduct self-care. Self-care requires discipline, and as I journey through life, I am reminded every day that anything that's worthwhile requires to achieve anything that's worthwhile requires discipline. And okay, so if discipline is one of the main ingredients for success, how do we go about getting discipline? And it starts off with decision making. You know, if your goal is to lose weight, you're going to have to exercise discipline in the kitchen. So how bad do you want to lose weight? You want that butter on your potato more than you want to lose weight. So that's as simple as that. You just have to decide. So I think it's Marianne Williamson in one of her courses says, don't don't trade what you want for what you want now. So I want to lose weight, but I want a cookie now. So have the discipline because see some of the choices that require discipline, it's a delayed gratification. If you eat the cookie, it's instant gratification, but you pay for it tomorrow. So the idea is uh, get used to the concept of delayed gratification. You know, I want to live in a fit body. So you just can't go to the gym once or twice. It becomes a daily part of our existence. So self-care and discipline go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And I think discipline comes first. So this is an awesome topic to talk about tonight, and I hand it back to Ellen.
Okay. I noted your point about losing weight, by the way. Who wants to go
Oh,
next?
gosh.
Bobby, would you like to go
Oh,
next?
sure. Yes, thank you. And I want to reiterate what Jimmy was saying. It means so much to us to see the number of subscribers each week, but and it does have an influence on us because it it really makes me anyhow think a lot more about good topics where we can pick each other's brains and really hope to contribute something. And I heard somebody say that um, it was somebody with a gazillion subscribers, but they were talking about how only 2% of their viewers subscribe. And I was like, oh gosh. And with us, it's like, but almost like 15% of our viewers are subscribing. And so that means so much. And it really makes me take everything more seriously and to give everything more thought. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. It means a lot to us, and it also kind of promotes the YouTube algorithms to expose us to more people that would like to get a little comfort and encouragement during these days. Um, it was funny. Ella and I were talking about a video that had been, I can't remember who sent it first, but we were looking at it, and it was talking about all the things in the universe that are kind of converging right now. We all had that solar eclipse back in April, and this past week, all the planets have been lined up, which was probably the first and only time in my lifetime that'll happen. And besides these celestial events, we have uh, some other things going on, like artificial intelligence. It just seems like that has come out of nowhere, and now it's occupying a larger and larger part of our lives. And the government declassified what it knows about UFOs, and it's sort of like, yeah, they really have been keeping a lot from us for a while, and then you've got these political revolts and things that are happening all over the world, and so this person in the video was talking about how there's really kind of a new alignment coming, and it's above people that have found their way into kind of that five-dimensional world, which is, just right beyond what we can see and touch. Uh, and the three-dimensional world where people are just kind of stuck with not growing anymore. It's like, I grew all I wanted to by the seventh grade, and I'm not going to learn another damn thing. I'll tell you that. It's like, oh, please. Anyhow, we're not like that. We're not like
I'm not
that.
involved. I'm not involved.
We're yeah, we're all lifelong learners, but the thing that had and oh my gosh, and I'm so blessed. I have friends in all of these spectacular kind of communities all over the place, and so it's like, well, I know some people in the UFO world, and I know some people in the plant medicine world. That's another thing that's really getting bigger and bigger right now. And you know, I'll save that for another topic, plant medicine. But but it was telling us that things are getting ready to shift, and we need to be taking care of ourselves right now, because we're going to be needed when the carpet bombing that's going on right now, in terms of all the news and stuff that we're getting, is totally meant to shock and awe and demoralize and make everybody want to isolate and be fearful. And uh and and what we were hearing is, you need to take really good care of yourself right now, because you're needed. You're going to be needed for the long haul here and what happens next. And I really believe that. I really believe that I was created for just a time as this. And it's no accident that I'm here, and all of this crap that's going on is here. So what are we going to do about it? And the self-care and discipline is really important, and it is going to look different to all of us. Um, Jimmy talks a lot, I think, last week about, this our synapse and our systems of neurons, and how if we get all caught up in gloom and doom, and we travel that path several times a day, it becomes hardwired and hard as a rock. And so how do you train your synapses to build a new pathway, to start thinking about things differently? uh, Anthony Hopkins, oh boy, the actor, uh, was saying this week, it's like, if all you do is focus on your problems, you're going to have more problems. What you need to do is focus on your possibilities, and then you're going to start seeing opportunities all around you. And, that's the same thing we talk about with gratitude. It's like, when you start looking at who's in your life and what's in your life and what can I do with this and that, it's sort of like going into the kitchen and opening the refrigerator and say, what am I going to make for dinner? Well, I got some of this and this. And that's really what we're going to do. And so self-care looks really different to all of us. But one of the things that has helped me a lot when it comes to rewiring our brains and getting those synapses going in a different way. Several years ago, I got invited by the University of Louisville, their School of Medicine, had gotten this big grant to create the first LGBTQ healthcare medical school curriculum, and it was not going to be just 2 days at the end of your career where you go hear about all the queers in your community and what their healthcare needs are. It's like, no, they want to infuse it from day one through all 4 years. And boy, what a glorious opportunity. And I've been doing that for a while. And one of the people I worked with most closely there, a woman, had in the meantime, over the years, she had traveled to the Himalayas and Tibet, and she had learned this new form of Tantra yoga. And we were talking about it, and it's like, okay, sign me up, I'm coming. So she's been teaching me this new yoga practice, which is exactly what Jimmy is talking about you know, breath work and breathing in and breathing in positive thoughts and attaching positive speech to them and seeing positive actions that follow that. And it's a real form of meditation. And while and it's real multisensory too, to focus on colors and sounds and sensations. And I realize that that is an old ancient technique that is exactly what Jimmy's talking about. It's creating new neural pathways, new ways of thinking about things. And so that is very much a discipline. It's a form of self-care. I'm always trying to find women that can connect me with the divine feminine. It's like I want to know more about that. And they're really mystical shaman oracle types of people, and I seek them out because I want to learn from them. And so that's just one of the things I'm doing right now, and it does require some discipline. It requires a daily commitment, and it really forces me to think a lot about what is it I want to do? What are the blockages? What needs to still be healed? And what does that healing look like? And what are going to be the outcomes if I really do apply this? And so that's a discipline, but it's also a form of self-care. It's like I know I don't have all the answers. And what do I need to do to grow more and learn more? And the people come into my life, like you all did. I think I was in high school when I first heard the Buddhist expression, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And it's like ever since the day I heard that, it was like, oh guys, please send me some teachers. I'm so ready. Please send me some teachers. And and they come and just one day there's someone named Ella that calls me up. Would you like to be on our podcast? And it's like all of a sudden now I've got all these new teachers here. And I was ready to meet you all. And gosh, what a blessing you've been. So I just, when I think about self-care and discipline, Jimmy's right. It's very intentional. It begins with a decision, but then it takes some actions you have to follow through on that. And just one thing that I wanted to mention is this Tantra yoga practice from Tibet that I've been blessed to start learning about, and I can feel it rewiring and creating new neural pathways and ways of thinking. And it's like, oh my gosh, Jimmy talks about that all the time. And here I am doing it. So uh, I, I just throw that out as an example. And back to you, Ella.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Absolutely. Raj, it's your turn.
It's my turn. So first of all, I have to comment like everyone else. I'm so happy that our channel is growing and more people are joining. Uh, we four take time out of our busy schedules to do this, and we do it because we want to impact the world in positive ways. We want to touch people and share our experience and insight. So we do it from a pure place of love, and I'm so happy that people are feeling it and connecting with us. So when I heard the topic, discipline and self-care, I thought, well, right away, I thought, oh, well, if you decide that you want to do self-care, you have to be disciplined about it, because you can just make a decision to do something, but if you don't follow through and the action isn't taken, is it really going to pay off? So that was the first initial thought. And then I started to think about us as human beings. And, to me, there's like three aspects of us. It's the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And I believe that like we have to nurture each part of us. Like, you can be solely focused on one area, but then neglect the other two areas. So, sorry. So, for me, like the physical, I made a decision recently, from a few visits to doctors, that I'm going to try to be a little more health conscious with my eating. And I have been making steps, to do that. Also looking into like teas that are good to drink because I'm not really a tea drinker. I drink one cup of coffee in the morning, but I hear how beneficial tea can be. So I was looking into like different types of teas that you can drink. Turmeric is a good one, rosemary, ajuna, which is an Ayurvedic type of tea, which is very good. So, teas and also kimchi, which is the fermented Korean fermented cabbage, which is great for like, the digestive system. A year and a half ago, I started doing psyllium husk, which is it's pure fiber. And I do it religiously every night. And when I tell you, it's like literally a sponge going through your system. And I actually went to my colorectal doctor today, and I told him I've been doing this, and he's like, "Yes, that's excellent." He says, "We preach that like day in and day out to people. Fiber, fiber, fiber when it comes to colorectal health." So, that's like in regards to like my physicality. And then also with that, trying to maybe walk a little more. In the summer, I was doing it with a friend that was down here from New York, but then I stopped. So like I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try to do some walking again with the mind, listening to videos that are going to stimulate me, reading stuff, watching programs that, that keep your mind stimulated, doing things to keep the thoughts going and flowing. And then of course the spiritual. And for me, that's, meditation and prayer and always reminding myself of the connection and expressing gratitude throughout the entire day in and day out. Just throughout the day, I could be anywhere, in a restaurant, driving in a car, walking down the street, and I'll like take a minute or a few seconds actually and think, wow, I'm thankful for this or I'm thankful for that. So, the three areas are so important. And I think the most important, really, if you want to put, I started with physical, I went to mental, and then I went to spiritual. It's the other way around. The spirit is the eternal part of us. And so, people focus on the mental and the physical a lot, but they neglect the spiritual part. So self-care to me is extremely important. And I'm a work in progress. I do good for a little bit, then maybe I slack up, but it's fine. Like we're living life, things get busy, you get caught up. It's just you remind yourself, wait a minute, this is what I want. And I need to do these certain things to attain the goal of self-care. And with everything going on in the world, I think it's so important. One of my directors, I do a lot of outreach for Trans Social, which is a trans-led, trans-focused organization. And we also have Mayfair Medical now, which is the medical division. But we were talking recently, and he said to me, Raji, this is a good time to really take time out to nurture yourself. Because as activists, I've been an activist for like over 25 years. And when I see things that I feel are wrong or things that are like happening, negative things against our community or just in general, it's like I feel like, what can I do? I got to do something. I got to take action. And so, yes, it's important for us to take action, but what I find is a lot of times we neglect ourselves in doing that. So the balancing act, My therapist pointed out something to me a few years back, and he says, Raji, I always hear you talk about what can you do for the world? What can you do for others? Are you doing enough? He was breaking all the ways I say it down, and he says, you have to enjoy yourself. Like we're here in this life to also enjoy. So, nurture yourself, have fun, do things that make you feel happy. And this is my therapist that pointed that out about me. It's like, it's all about do. What can you do for others and helping it? And he's like, what about Raji? And so I took that as a really heavy duty message. And since that time, I've been working more on, trying to do things for myself. And really important, making myself happy, doing things to bring joy, because that's such an important thing. Like, finding ways to just feel joyful. I don't know if you all ever notice when you laugh, like when you just do that, like really natural, gut wrenching laugh, how good it makes you feel afterwards. Like, you're just laughing and you're like, it's just a really awesome feeling. So I'll stop here. I'll throw it back to Ella. And, I'm sure I'll have some other thoughts later.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good that you talk about love. In some civilizations, I think the Japanese do that. They have this laughing session. You know that. That means in the morning everybody comes together and they just start laughing.
Really? Wow, I love that.
That is only to make sure that your, let's say your feelings, your metabolism, everything functions better. It is really interesting. I mean, you girls, sorry, you just told everything. There's no, but I think that is if there are two very important points: self-care and discipline. They come together because, yeah, you have if to do self-care, you have to do it as well with discipline. But life is always changing. So what we think it's very important today as self-care may not be for tomorrow. It's, you know, it's a complete change every day, every time. It's a wonderful journey. And I have to say that it is those moments when you are together and you say, oh my God, I probably should try to put more importance in this point or in that point, that you are creating your new self. By the way, the film that we were talking about, Bob, that we saw, Bobby and I, it is a very interesting point because I've heard that for many, many things. As well in the spiritual world, it has been told that there is going to be this new people, and apparently we are very near that. I don't know if that comes in one go or if it comes slowly. I have no idea. But we are supposed to be some super people which have got super incredible or can do super incredible things. I hope probably I'm one of them. I'm not sure, but at least I know probably I'll meet some of them. You know, I think this is a really wonderful thing because if you look at history of the world from the beginning, it's been so incredible. So incredible. But all the time when there are big changes, all the time when there are big changes, yeah, big conflicts as well. It doesn't come automatically just like this, It is the pendles which go around all the time and sometimes they really clash. And that's what brings humanity stronger and more reliable and better. I think that, yeah, I think it's probably we came to a time where there is some changes which are going to take place. And in those with those things, with those ideas, self-care is probably extremely important because we have to think about, not only what is around our society and our social self-care, but as well our own self-care, as Raji was really hailing very nicely. Because, we are parts of many, 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 many things. And it's because we all come together that we make the whole as people. But it starts with you. It starts with every single one of us. So with those words, I'll just give to everybody to
What you're talking about is quantum entanglement. And I think part of the spiritual awakening that's taking place on this planet is people are beginning to recognize the concept of quantum entanglement. We are all part of something far greater than ourselves.
right.
And the more we realize that when we hurt someone else, we're actually hurting ourselves because that person is part of us. We're all connected in some way or another. And I had some thoughts as I'm listening to everyone talk. Self care is an inside job.
Yes.
Self care for yourself. And I think self care is a byproduct of self respect. Respect yourself enough that you're going to take care of yourself. And Zig Ziglar, back in the day, I remember one of Zig Ziglar's uh, presentations. He talked about the racehorse for the Kentucky Derby.
That's
So
where I live.
okay, so you got a racehorse that you're going to enter in the Kentucky Derby. Are you going to take that horse out to the bar and smoke cigarettes and drink whiskey all night and eat potato chips and hamburgers and all this stuff? Or is the horse going to get the best grain and the best exercise, the best sleep? So if you're going to treat a racehorse like that, and then you're going to cheat yourself, and I was thinking about this. Okay, so someone was talking about balance. We need to get to work on time, so we just do a McDonald's drive-through and get the McBiscuit. Or you can prepare your meal. So what I do, I boil a couple dozen eggs and take a cooler with me with 3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs, Ezekiel bread with almond butter on it. I make my own chicken salad sandwich, a couple waters. So if I'm hungry, I have good nourishment. I don't have to rely on a fast food, which is not probably the best choice. Maybe every now and again, but not repetitively. So just keep in mind that self care is an inside job, and I think it was Bobby was talking about. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Today is actually a full moon.
Yes.
Today's the full moon. The planets are lining up, and I can imagine the gravitational pull or the magnetic pull that's going to occur when all these planets are lined up and all that energy is in a straight line as opposed to being diffused amongst our solar system. Ella.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You go ahead, Bobby.
Oh, well, it's funny while Jimmy was talking, and it made me think about practical things because I like when we talk and sometimes we get on this higher plane that's like, oh, but let's get back to some of the practical stuff. I've been at this for a long, long time, many, many decades. And in the beginning, I, I was taught that that about me was taboo. It was forbidden. I lived in the closet, but it was like I couldn't make it go away. And I developed a lot of shame and self-loathing and self-destructive behaviors by the time I started smoking when I was 10 years old. And boy, yeah, I did a whole lot of damage. My lungs are in horrible shape. and it took me forever to break that habit. But it was like I didn't want to live a long life in this body, and so I had all these self-destructive behaviors, and then it was sort of like once I got my body into alignment with who I really am, it's like, oh my God, this is great. I would like to live a long, healthy life now, and and it's just amazing to me how much some of those uh, big surgeries really helped me. It's like all of a sudden I wanted to live and I wanted to be healthy and I wanted to live a long life and I wanted to enjoy every day. It was no longer misery for me. And so there was a ton of bad habits that I had to give up. I had to face and walk away from. And smoking was really, really hard because when you start at 10 years old, you're pretty addicted right away, and it's really hard. And each one of my lungs had collapsed, and I kept on smoking. I had to have half of a lung removed back in the 90s. I had done so much damage, and I still kept smoking. And it's like I really had a horrible time with all of this kind of self-destructive stuff. And then getting to the point where, oh my gosh, I want to live. I really do. And so some of the real basic things that I've just been blessed to learn along the way have to do what you're talking about, nutrition. I've had to be the cook for a couple of different people that were dying of cancer. And when you start trying to prepare meals for somebody whose cancer was caused because of the stuff in our environment that we've been eating. And you start studying, like, oh my gosh, what does somebody who's trying to slow this disease, what do they need to be eating? And, you find out stuff, well, like sugar, cancer cells feed on sugar. You got to get rid of the sugar. If it's a breast cancer, which one of them was, uh, estrogen, you've got to get the estrogen out of your body because breast cancer cells are feeding on that. Well, soy is a phytoestrogen. And all of a sudden, I had to start shopping and buying products that contain no soybean oil or soybean substances. And oh my gosh, you need to start reading the labels in the grocery store. It's like 80% of the stuff in there has got soybeans in it. And it's like, well, I don't know how to cook. That's what I've always used. I don't know how to, and so I have to learn new ways. And it's like organic. Oh my gosh, organic stuff is a real important part to nutrition. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, he was all about, food as medicine, and this whole world of nutrition has opened up to me, and it's a discipline in that I've got to learn what I've been consuming. Oh my God, microplastics. If you haven't looked up microplastics,
Oh,
it's like uh, we all of our food, if you microwave stuff in plastic containers, if you drink water, that bottled water in plastic containers, and oh, Ginger Z at ABC News was doing a thing on all the nanoplastics, and if you're an American, you consume the equivalent of a credit card of plastic every year. And
wow.
that, oh my gosh, you want to talk about building up plaque in your body and what's causing all this dementia and Alzheimer and all that stuff, and where are all these cancers coming from? Well, it's like we ingest a lot of plastic, and you have got to make a very disciplined, conscious choice to start eliminating as much. You can't eliminate every bit of it. We're just totally infested with it. But there're just some things like that, and they're disciplines. It's like, okay, if food is medicine, I've been feeding myself junk food most of my life. I got to turn that around. And the point I want to make is that the older I get, the more I realize how health is the most important thing we've all got. And when that starts to go, and you don't have it anymore, it's like uh, it's really sad. And so I've had to become very health conscious because now I want to live a long time. So I've got my Apple Watch tells me how much more I need to stand and move around and exercise, and every day, it's prompting me. And so there are a lot of things like that. But my Apple Watch has really been a big friend for helping me stay healthy, and meeting people and learning stuff all along. And so I just wanted to reiterate what Raji was saying about nutrition, because uh, there is so much stuff in our kitchens that is not good for us. In fact, it's lessening our quality of life. And so I want to encourage people to look into that real soon. Especially microplastics. Got to get
Oh my,
your toothbrush, all of that crap, because it's like, oh,
You
you
know,
got to,
I come from the plastic industry, okay? I
yeah.
I'm a mechanical engineer, and my specialty is thermosets and thermoplastics.
Mhm.
Uh, and you know, so I know what they've got inside. It's terrible.
Thanks.
And many people, when I was younger, I was working with injection molding machines for plastics.
Hmm.
And I knew exactly what was in those plastic things. So I don't have plastic bottles at home.
Hmm.
Not one. Not one. I don't take anything from plastic bottles. And I haven't done that for, I don't know, that's many, 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 many years. So, right.
wow. Um, well, the two things that come to mind, you are what you eat. I've heard that for like a long time. You are what you eat. And at first, it's like you hear it, you think, oh, slogan. But really, when you think about it, it's true. We're putting the different foods in our body on a daily basis because we have to eat. So, that is something that comes to mind. And then the other thing saying that comes to mind is health is wealth. Health is wealth. Because I always think about Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, and, all the billions of dollars someone may have. That doesn't necessarily save you when it comes to your health. So health is really wealth. And listening to you three, I started thinking about, okay, the system. And when I say the system, I'm talking about like the industry, the food industry, and what they try to push. And, and when you're like surrounded by these messages, and what I mean by that is like, I'll give you an example. Years ago when we were growing up, when I was growing up, I remember these milk commercials. They were all over the place. Milk does the body good, and they
Got milk.
drink. Yeah. And they push that on us here in America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but here in America, it was pushed. They ran those commercials to now find out that milk isn't really good for you, or all that good for you. So you have to really like go beyond the smoke and mirrors and really look at things like and this other thing about the microplastics, and we have lived our lives with plastic. It was a convenient thing. It came about the Tupperware, and you store things in plastic containers and your plastic water bottles, and now to come to find out, because this is really, I know I'm sure it's been talked about for a while, but like now for whatever reason it's come to the forefront of society, and like people are really talking about it now and being conscious. And I thought, damn, I have to go through my whole freaking kitchen
Yeah.
because I have so much plastic. And so, it's little by little. I went online and I was looking for like some glass containers. Little by little, you try to like do what you can. But I'm just saying that don't always believe what you're told, because what at one moment they're saying, oh, this is good for you, eat plenty of it. 5 years later there's a new study out that's saying if you eat too much of this, it could cause cancer, or it could, and then you're like, fuck, they told me 5 years ago that this was good for me and eat plenty of it. Now you're telling me it's killing me. I mean, so just being very proactive, doing your research, and just trying your best. So, funny story, real quick. I told you all in the beginning that I'm trying to walk more, right? Like I'm going to start doing that. And so I was out with a friend last weekend. He took me to lunch. So we went to have a really good Thai sushi lunch. It was delicious. So then he looks at me and he's like, because he wants me to walk more too. So he says, "It's a beautiful day. Why don't we walk down Wilton Drive?" I said, I looked at him. I was like, okay, okay. So I'm walking about 2, 3 blocks, and he looks at me and he says, "If we can make it to the Dairy Queen, I'll buy you some ice cream." So I'm like, "Oh, okay. You're gonna buy me some ice cream if I walk to the Dairy Queen." So we get to the Dairy Queen. I get a milkshake. He gets an ice cream. We sit, we eat the ice cream, and I drink my milkshake. And then, okay, we go. He says, "Let's go across the street and we'll walk back." So a couple blocks in, he says to me, "There's a candy store in the next block." Um, to the moon. He says, "We'll go in there so you can cool off a little, and I'll get you a candy bar." so, so listen, it was so funny because I'm looking at him like, really, you're getting me to walk, and you're tempting me, or you're encouraging me with a milkshake and a candy bar. But the moral of the story is sometimes you just need a little incentive to start doing it. And it's not that I'm gonna like go on walks and have milkshakes and candy bars, but it was something that organically happened. And I thought, well, he started something again. He's kind of like sparked the walk thing in me. But it was so funny to me, and I didn't let him live it down. I was like, really? This is how you're getting me to walk with a milkshake and a candy bar? Okay. Ella.
We've got a little bit long on the time, but just talking about nutrition, I am a very healthy person. I just got my yearly what you call blood thing, so it's really quite really impressive, quite good. But I have to tell you, I don't eat any kind of things with plastic. Don't drink from plastic bottles, and I cook myself. And I really try not to buy or eat prepared foods. So I think this is one of the basic things that I have. It doesn't have to be too complicated, but it has to be natural. And I try to get always my vegetables and everything together. But okay. Okay, I don't think we've got too much time, so let's make the last round. Jimmy, your last words.
So we're talking about self-care and discipline. And I know in my life, I like to utilize mantras. And the one mantra that really inspired me in my youth and still to this day, there used to be a magazine called Natural Bodybuilding, and it was published by Joe Weider. And in the opening cover of every magazine this guy ever produced was the following statement. It's short, so just listen carefully. Every word has significant meaning. Strive for excellence. Exceed yourself. Love your friend. Speak the truth. Practice fidelity. And honor your father and mother. These principles will help you master yourself, make you strong, give you hope, and put you on a path to greatness.
Yes. Nice words.
Ellen.
Let's go around. Bobby.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, we've talked about so much, and we've just touched the tip of the iceberg because self-care and our discipline is really um, it's key. It's a huge part of who we are and why our lives are the way they are. And I just you all have talked about so many good anyhow. I'm not going to do that. So instead, what I want to talk about is how we take care of ourselves and keep going another day. And so it's all it really is all mind control and believing in yourself. And like I'm always saying, nobody can make me feel inferior unless I consent to letting them do that to me. And why in the world would I give that kind of power to anybody? And so there are just some things where you have to really strengthen yourself and believe in yourself, and the things that you have to do every day to get stronger and stronger. Those are the things we talk about. And so let me just say, subscribe, please, if you haven't already. So, back to you, Ella.
Okay, Raji, last words.
So our thoughts and our words are powerful. And today on the way to the doctor, I was talking to my mom, and she gave me one of her mantras that she has up like every morning. She sees it and she says it throughout the day. And it goes like this: I am healed, healthy, and well in body, mind, and soul. I am healed, healthy, and well, and body, mind, and soul. So find your mantra, because words are thoughts and words are powerful. Ella?
Mhm. I totally agree with you. I have got my mantras. I've got my little mantra list, which every day I've spent my 5 minutes reading it, and every day since the last, I don't know, so many decades. So I always do it. Okay, with those words, thank you for watching Transgurus.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Namaste.
Be disciplined. That is the way to go. Bye, everybody.
Love, peace, and blessings.
Bye.